PLD, Matty Gunner, Richard-Erik Jarvi and Bidoor. Welcome to Scoundrels, News, and more.
I'm back. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Scoundrels.
The most ridiculous movie show in the far reaches of the interwebs.
Most ridiculous. I like that. I think you should come up with something new every week. Can you do that?
I actually, I'll do that from now on. I wanted to pitch that as an idea. We're going to
pitch it on there because that's what we do. That's what we do. I want to thank you guys for holding down the fort last week. I couldn't make it work with work and everything else, but you did an admirable job. You looked really great. You both are definitely eye candy for the group. I'm sorry to bring you guys back down to earth. I had a little more earthy appearance here, but we do what we can.
With your bitchy demeanor today?
I am. Yes, that's true. If you notice, my name is Bitch PLD because I came in guns a-blazing like Bitch Jarvi did 2 weeks ago. It was a rough week for me last week. I worked a lot more than I ever wanted to, than I ever do want to at my job. Well, both jobs actually, but one more than the other. And it got so bad that last night I went down to go on What the Show after work. I was actually supposed to be on 10 o'clock Eastern, but I got forced into work until 11. So I raced home to get on What the Show. What happened? I left my queen hat at work. That I feel like I'm missing my right hand. Thank you, Star Drew. I appreciate that. Yes, this is my Red Sox hat. It's my backup. No, PLD. Why don't you just go back to work and get it? Why don't you just go back into work?
Guess who's back with a brand new hat?
And I said, no, fuck that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go back to work. I just want to get out of that place. I was there all week. Fuck it. Let's move on. Even though if you're watching me, I know that's my way coworkers sometimes watch me. If you're watching me, I love you guys, you know that, but I just want to get out of there for a while. But anyway, regardless, here we are. We are on PLD Project this week. We're talking favorite video game movies. We're talking news. We're actually bringing up, we have no Boba Fett or anything like that to talk about, so we're going to actually bring in our view of the week. I have some fun to talk about on that. First up, Matty Gunner. How are you doing, my friend? I'm sorry, Mr. Buy My Music. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Yes, please buy my music. February 28th, new Shadow of Azrael song, Brother Keeper, comes out all digital platforms. Thank you very much for that plug, Paul. I had one question for you, actually. You're from New York, right?
I am.
Isn't it kind of a cardinal sin for you to be wearing a Boston Red Sox hat?
Yes and no, and I get that a lot. I'm from upstate New York. I'm equidistant between New York City and Boston. There's actually a lot of Red Sox fans up here, because I'm pretty close to Massachusetts as well. It all began in 1986. I started liking sports teams at the same time. The Bears were the big football team. They were the year of the Super Bowl shuffle, so I liked the Chicago Bears. The Red Sox were in the World Series against the Mets. My best friend was more into baseball. I wasn't my best friend. He's my neighbor. I hung out with him all the time. He was very much more into baseball than I was. He was a big Red Sox fan. So I kind of just followed along a little bit. And then I got into the Red Sox. I started looking into their history and their everything else. And I kind of rooted for the underdog. So that kind of just all flowed from there. So that's where it is. So yes, people will yell at me. I mean, my brother actually is a Yankee fan, so it makes for a very difficult time sometimes.
There we go.
But you
obviously, as a clueless, foreigner who will probably one day migrate to your great nation, I feel like I should know these things. So
you should.
You're right. It's probably going to appear on the immigration test when I eventually take it. So I feel like I should probably know it.
Wait, what's your team, Matty? Your football team?
Arsenal.
Got it. Okay, well, you're on brand.
My football team is the Chicago Bears. So I mean,
that's not football. That's kicking the ball.
That's running with.
Running the ball,
kickball. Better. And of course, Philippe has to be here for this discussion. That's what I have to say, Philippe.
Yes.
Our European brothers are here.
Yes. Action. Hashtag Action Europe.
Okay. Well, we already introduced Matty Gunner. Let's introduce the other guy. He was bitch 2 weeks ago.
I'm just now. Richard now.
Now he's just Dick. I mean Richard. How are you doing?
Wow.
Ooh.
So
I'm
I'm
feisty.
really trying to be like chill and nice today, and I'm just getting slammed by
Bro, I tell you
PLD
what that is.
today.
That Boston Red Sox hat is like the symbiote Spider-Man suit. Like,
Yeah,
Cole puts it on
exactly.
and he's just a completely different person.
I'm in the PLD variant. Let's put it that way. Fuck, man. All right. Well, anyway, it's good to see you guys. It is great to see you guys. Of course, Matty is our news person. He gathers a couple news articles for us to talk about in the world of movie entertainment, et cetera, et cetera. So let's just get right to it. Before we do, real quick though, streamlabs.com/PLD products if you want to do that. Patreon.com/PLD Project if you want to support the channel. We got a group of people already who've started to come on board. I'm very happy to see them. I'm very appreciative of that. We'll be starting the new perks in March. Still kind of working out some of that with PJ and other people as well. And we got one person who even signed up at a level that they could appear on Scoundrels if they want to. So I'll get into that soon. I'm not going to reveal that quite yet.
Was that Bidoor?
That was not Bidoor, surprisingly enough. Surprisingly enough, Bidoor is not that person. Sorry, Bidoor, we ran out of time. We'll see you
Yeah,
next
we
week.
don't have time for it today.
Shots fired.
We love you, Bidoor. We wish you would be able to be on more than you were. We are, but unfortunately, that seems to be not the case, right? All right.
Okay, let's get into the news before
What's the
Bidoor
news?
sends a fucking lion to kill her.
It's true, and they're good.
So our first piece of news for this week, hot off the success of Peacemaker, and I guess Peacemaker season 2 has been confirmed, which is great because that show's awesome. I love it. John Cena is to star in the newest installment of live action Looney Tunes movies. This one I'm kind of confused about, but kind of looking forward to because I love Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. This is John Cena is to star in the Looney Tunes live action movie Coyote versus Acme, in which Wile E. Coyote will be suing the Acme Corporation for the use of faulty products when trying to catch the Roadrunner.
This is weird. This sounds weird.
This is really fucking weird.
And he's the star? The coyote is not the star. Wow. Well.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? This is the most ridiculous thing I've heard of. I want nothing to do with this property. You're coming off of Peacemaker, which I do love. Love Peacemaker. That actually was going to be my watch of the week potentially because I was finally able to binge it. What the fuck is this?
John Cena is apparently playing the boss of the Acme Corporation that Wile E. Coyote is suing.
But how is he the lead?
I don't know.
That's what confuses me. Isn't Coyote supposed to be?
It's just like Michael Jordan in Space Jam and LeBron in Space Jam 2.
It seems like Space Jam, like trying to recreate Space Jam because they couldn't do it with LeBron, so they want to try to do it with John Cena instead. And I don't know anyone who's going to be actually interested in this. I take that back. I know Party J, I love you, Party. I bet your Party is all over this kind of thing. It kind of feels like his kind of project. And good for you. I hope you do love it. Me
and AJ too. AJ loves Space Jam too, so I think
AJ does like Space Jam. That's true. Yeah. AJ might want this too as well. And maybe it'll be batshit crazy enough that it'll like be something exciting and something fun. I mean, John Cena is usually pretty good. He's actually winning me over in a lot of things. I just don't see how this fucking works. I mean, John Cena is the boss. He's the boss of a company. In what world is John Cena the CEO of like a company? Like, I don't get it. I mean, I think Will McLean has a great quote. You know, how's a character going to see somebody he can't see? I don't get it.
That's true.
But he's the villain, right? So the villain's the lead.
I guess.
I think he's gonna be the human lead because it's a cartoon hybrid live action thing. So
it also goes into the conversation we were having about John Cena in that I doubt he's gonna ever take like a leading man dramatic role.
Yeah,
if he keeps taking shit like this.
No, you know
but I think it's sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is reminding me of The Rock, and not in a good way. He's following Dwayne Johnson's lead. And at this point, I like Dwayne Johnson, and I love The Rock for who he is. I love him as a wrestler, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But let me call a spade here. The Rock's movie career is pretty busted overall. It makes money, so I can't blame him for it. But he basically is a live action cartoon. That's all he does. I mean, that's all he can do. But
he only ever plays himself.
I mean, like let's say all the stuff he's done recently. It's like Red Notice, like Rampage. They're all like basically put The Rock in this leading role, have him flex his muscles, have him do his eyebrow, have him say a catchphrase or two.
Central Intelligence, anyone? Woof.
We're talking video game movies. He's gonna be leading a Call of Duty movie, which I'm really excited about that one. Yeah, he's gonna be in a Call of Duty movie.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it. I just think it's going to be the same thing. It's over and over again. He does nothing for me nowadays in any of his movies.
The Rock is leading a Call of Duty movie, and they're not having Jerry B as Soap McTavish. That is insulting.
That would actually make me get back interested in it. Like, whenever I hear The Rock is announced for any movie, I don't get excited anymore. I just don't.
Are you not excited about? Nope. That's what I wanted to ask. Black Adam? Not excited?
Nope.
Really?
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
I'm excited to see him flex. I'm excited to see like how jacked he is, but that's about it.
But yeah, like I can see it in the poster. Okay, I saw the poster. Good, I saw the movie. Pretty much. I mean, like if it interacts with the DCU more, maybe with Shazam and everything else, I could maybe get interested in it. But at this point, like everybody seems excited about it. I'm not. I hate saying that because I love The Rock. Love The Rock as a wrestler, and like I even love his first couple movies. I feel like he's almost like in Bruce Willis / Liam Neeson category, where like. He's just gonna do the same movies all over again, and he's got a little more charisma than him. But like, I don't know. I just don't get excited. I'll put it on when it's streaming. Absolutely, like go see it on a Tuesday afternoon matinee. Yeah, I probably will because at the very least it'll be like entertaining enough. But I just don't get what the excitement is about it anymore.
He has fun with his roles. He has fun with these roles, and that's what John Cena is doing as well. I feel like John Cena has found like he has been bouncing around different kinds of movies. He's done serious stuff. He's done all-out ridiculous stuff. It feels like I don't know. It feels like his comedic performances are what people actually love.
For Cena,
and I hope for Cena, yeah. And I hope this Coyote movie will let him like be like just outrageously over the top, funny, whatever. So
I do too. And like just bringing it back to The Rock for a brief second, I actually liked The Rock's movie career in the beginning, but he tried more daring stuff back in the day. He would try to be cool. He would try Walking Tall.
You like
the Snitch?
I liked The Rundown with Sean William
Tooth Fairy.
That was a downfall. That was not a big fan of that overall. But the idea is now the past like 5 to 6 to 7 years is just all the same thing, and he just doesn't try anything. Cena, I do appreciate. Cena as Peacemaker, that's a good start. Cena as in Blockers, the completely comedic role, absolutely go for it. And I'm hoping Cena doesn't go down the same path The Rock does. We end up in this generic rigmarole kind of thing. Yeah. And this is the kind of thing I want him to avoid. I want him to get out of fucking Looney Tunes movies. I don't want him there. Hi, Sean. Nobody hurt me yet. The Rock will hurt. The Rock will hurt me if he hears this. He'll probably want me to be fucking about him.
Oh yeah. But John Cena will. You're pissed off two of the biggest guys in Hollywood. John Cena and The Rock.
I'm really sorry. Like, I might know how to fight, but The Rock would crush me with his
John Cena is even bigger. I feel like he's like roids, whatever he's taking. He's like, more defined and he's even bigger.
I don't think I'd be able to protect you. So you're on your own with that one, buddy.
All right, fine. I hate to be a hater. I don't really mean to be that much of a hater, and I know it comes off that way. Just I want to see them Rock branch out a little more, do a little more like Bautista does. Bautista's a wrestler that has done enough. He has those action roles. I mean, he did Stuber or whatever it was. That was awful. But you also see him and then do Blade Runner 2049.
That's exactly. He has to be doing more stuff like that.
I want to see him. I don't see if Rock would do like every other or something like that. Great, but now just kind of like every movie is like the same movie, just slap a different title on. And at this point, I'm kind of like, okay, all right. And Cena doing this.
I mean, it's a ridiculous piece of news, so you don't have to feel bad about like not liking this one. We're all pretty much not buying this one. We're not buying this one.
We're definitely not buying it. I'm selling it to hardcore. Right. Matty, what's next?
I'm telling you, Batista's going to be in an Animaniacs movie.
Probably. I don't care if he does though. That's the thing. That's exactly what I mean though, because he balances it out. If he does it, I'm more okay with it. Cena, I worry that Cena's not going to. Cena is in a place where he can really build on Peacemaker. I think he's like it's a spot that he can build on it. And this is not the way to build on it, to me.
Okay.
That's what I'll say.
So, we could do that.
Our next news
James
topic.
Bond? Sean, I'll do a Bond. We'll do a Bond list at some point. That's absolutely something we can do.
For sure.
I still haven't seen No Time to Die yet, though. I'm fucking behind.
Oh, no way.
I haven't. I'm so far behind.
Good.
I'm working too much at my job. At both my jobs, I'm working nonstop. I barely and podcasting.
You'd love it. I feel like this Bond is just so much up your alley.
So when we were in LA, I was talking to someone when we were at the bar, and I told them how I wasn't much of a Bond guy. And they said, "Are you allowed to have that opinion in England? Like, you don't have support for saying that yet." I'm not a huge Bond guy, and I'm just not.
You know what? I gotta say, Sean, I'm sorry. I didn't get the point. You're absolutely right today. This is episode 007.
Oh,
we didn't think about that. We missed the boat. Sean, I should hire you. Sean, I'm going to hire you as my PR guy soon. Maybe you'll help us figure that out.
I mean, we could always switch it up.
No, that's all right. We'll
maybe
if we have time at the end, we'll do a quick teaser and do a quick on a quick off the cuff kind of thing, maybe. And yes, Galactus, I already said this earlier on. My queen hat is actually at work. I don't want to go back to get it right now, so I will get it when I next go back into work. All right,
but no Time to Die is pretty good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, moving on to our. Yeah, Mike, what's up, dude?
Yes, $20 is $20. That's right. I'll do $20. $20
is $20.
All right, moving on.
So, A Quiet Place 3 has now been officially confirmed to be coming in 2025, with a spin-off to be released in 2023, which is next year.
Okay. Now this, I'm a little more happy for, although I'm partially happy. Quiet Place Part 3, we'll start with that. I'm excited about that. I'm happy about that. If Krasinski's coming back and Emily Blunt's coming back.
Michael Bay?
Fuck Michael Bay.
No, Michael Bay's producing. He's coming back.
He's inconsequential. I don't know. He's inconsequential to this at this point. I think he's producer in name only at this point. It's just whatever. We're not talking about Mikey B. Fuck Mikey B. I'm in a very randy mood today. I think this might be me more often. I'm gonna come here and just spit.
Bro, that hat is literally like a symbiote suit. You are not you right now.
No. But look, I don't. But going back to it, I love Krasinski. I love Emily Blunt. I love the thing. I think that the second one was a little not as good as the first one, but that was almost had to be because the first one was so original. It's hard to reach those heights of originality.
It was as good as it could have been. I feel like the second
absolutely. One. It was a solid sequel. Part 3, to me, only has to reach as high as the sequel got, and so I think they're going to do the right thing. They're going to keep going with it. That's good. That's exciting. I'm happy about that. Moving on to the spinoff, my first initial thought was fuck this. I don't need a spinoff because to be honest, it seems like it's okay. So it's Fear the Walking Dead. All right, so it's like we're taking another world.
This is a cash grab.
This is a cash grab. Exactly my point. You're just basically saying, okay, we're going to retell A Quiet Place with a different set of a different family.
I hate Fear the Walking Dead. That shit sucked.
That's my point. Because we don't need the story again. It's just like, okay, so how many? We're going to have 5 or 6 different families. Like we're going to have different spinoffs of different where they were at the time. It's going to take a lot.
We don't know. It's about families or stuff like that. It could be, we're getting how the military is handling how it first went down, how all the governments handled it. Something it could be anything. It might not be just a contained family story.
Potentially, but if I remember the article, I don't think this was confirmed, but the rumor out there basically was that we were looking at
a family,
another group of people, or at least another group of people. Basically, it almost says we're taking A Quiet Place 1 and showing you somebody else's reaction to it, which I don't need to see, honestly. I'd rather see it if it's a totally different spinoff in terms of we get it from the military side or we get it from the alien side or something like that. That'd be kind of cool and interesting way to go about it. There is one piece of news though about it that I am excited about and did make me pause, and that's the director. It is the same director who directed Pig.
Oh, really? I did not connect that.
Yes, that is. I can't remember his name now. What was the name of the guy? I can't remember his name now. I'm bad at
this. It wasn't a name you'd recognize, but that actually makes me kind of excited now because the vibe and the tone in Pig fits very well with a Quiet Place universe.
100%. It was being developed by Jeff Nichols, but then Jeff Nichols had to move on to some other project. So instead they tapped the filmmaker from Pig, and that I love that. I think that exactly, Jarvi, you're right on. It's Michael Sarnowski is his name. He directed it and wrote Pig. This fits perfectly in that world, and this makes, because the storytelling was so good in Pig, this makes me excited. Now, the big question I have: can we get Nick Cage in?
Oh,
dude, exactly. You not even
bastard.
Nick Cage. Get Nick Cage from Pig.
Right? You can make it a crossover universe entirely. Oh my god, that's really.
And get it, and he gets a new pig, or he tries to get a truffle alien.
A truffle alien?
Which he doesn't need, though. We all know that, but
he doesn't.
All I love that you mentioned that, but I hate that you stole my question. I was waiting. I was gonna let you finish. I wasn't gonna pull a Kanye on Taylor Swift. I was gonna let you finish, but yeah, I want Nick Cage in.
Can you imagine Nick Cage not being able to yell? Just
guys. Okay, let's go.
I am angry.
He's talking to like his kid. He's like, put the bunny back in
the bunny in the box. Bunny. How in the name of Susie's butthole? Scoundrels going to ASMR now. Also, it's like, but in all seriousness, I was not very excited about it before, about the spin-off idea. That does intrigue me a little bit more, and I definitely can't wait to see what it develops with it. And who knows? Maybe I will be excited about it by the time it comes out.
So hear me out. It's Michael Bay's a producer. If we get Michael Bay and Nick Cage back, that means we have to get...
Holy shit.
Are you telling me you're going to have Ed Harris in the spinoff? Because we're going to have Ed Harris in the spinoff that all of a sudden jumps off right to the fucking top of the charts. You know that.
You aliens are down there. We're up here. You came on the wrong fucking planet, guys.
So you know how to pitch the movie to me. Now I'm excited. Now I'm at least semi-erect at this point.
What if it turns out that like Cillian Murphy is Ed Harris's son?
Ooh. And at the end of FCGS, Sean Connery. At the very end, the ghost of Sean Connery talking to.
A Force Ghost Sean Connery.
Wow, this is turning up great.
I love this pitch. I love this pitch. All right, move on. Let's start some of the last part of the news we got.
Yeah, speaking of stories in a galaxy far, far away. My bad. Wrong franchise. My bad. J.J. Abrams and Paramount have revealed that a new Star Trek 4 will begin shooting this year. Jarvis is pretty happy about this.
I'm pumped. So freaking pumped.
Go ahead, Jarvis.
There's nothing more to say. I'm so freaking pumped. Okay, well, anyway, this has been percolating for such a long time. We've had rumors that Tarantino might be taking over. Then we had some rumors that Justin Lin might continue it. But the problem was Star Trek Beyond didn't make a lot of money. It actually lost money. So I was so sure that this franchise was now dead and we would be getting a reboot again at some point. I love the cast of Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Carl Urban, Zoe Saldana, everyone, Simon Pegg. This cast is amazing. They work so freaking well together. Unfortunately, we won't be getting Anton Yelchin, but I am still so happy. And I gotta say, I think J.J. Abrams used Star Trek way better than used is the wrong word. Did Star Trek way better than he did Star Wars. So,
which is funny because he actually made Star Trek more like Star Wars, and that was weird.
But it does work a lot better for me, at least.
Well, there's less. Here's the problem for that, Jarvis. I'll tackle you on this one a little bit. The fact is, you don't have as much like weight in the Star Trek universe as you do in the Star Wars universe. So you're much more precious about Star Wars than you were about Star Trek. I feel.
I have seen none of the older Star Trek movies. I'm a new fan of Star Trek. 2009 was just, my God, it was so freaking good.
Because it was A New Hope, basically.
whatever. It just works.
To me,
well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I know a lot of people, some Star Trek fans hated it because it was so much different than the Star Trek they knew.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm saying. But of course, when you're comparing J.J. Abrams' work on Star Trek versus J.J. Abrams' work on Star Wars, you're going to be much more critical of his work on Star Wars than you ever would.
Agreed. Agreed.
But that's just my own point on that. But getting into this particular point, I agree with you for Mike in a way. I almost would love to have seen Tarantino, see what Tarantino would have done.
That's weird.
But he needs a new cast. I want him to be able to cast his own Star Trek movie. I feel like this crew wouldn't kind of fit. He needs like a weird, obscure crew from a smaller ship that's, guys are freaking crazy. Everyone's up there. And
yeah, I can't see Tarantino getting a good performance out of Simon Pegg. I don't know why. Like, those two just don't click in my brain.
Really? I can see them working. I can see him working very well with Carl Urban as well, to be honest with you.
Him and
Urban,
Quinto, maybe? I think him and Quinto would be a really good match, but him and Simon Pegg
is interesting. Him and Chris Pine would be interesting to say to me. But either way, we're not getting Tarantino, unfortunately, at this point. I think it's a missed opportunity in terms of we did get Abrams. We got Abrams' verse before. And because it has been diminishing returns a little bit, it would have been interesting to see how Quentin could have maybe injected a lot of life into it. I'm not saying this new one with J.J. Abrams and whoever. It's Matt Shakman, who directed WandaVision, I guess, is the one that's on board to direct at this point. Could be great. Could be awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to it because I think having Star Trek on is better than not having Star Trek. So we'll go from there. I'm definitely excited about it overall. I would rather have seen Quentin, but I'll deal.
Cool.
I'll say something really outrageous now.
Go on.
I'm more excited for this Star Trek movie than any upcoming Star Wars movies.
Kick him the fuck out of here.
No, seriously.
Boot him now.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of am. Because, I don't know, I feel like the Star Wars movies kind of... They've lost some of the goodwill, at least on my part. And the Star Trek movies and the cast, I don't know. That's
over
just my inner feeling.
Taika movie?
Whatever is next, at this point, I'm more excited for the next Star Trek movie.
Well,
and you guys know me. I'm a Star Wars guy. So I'm not just saying this to piss you guys off. This is just...
I feel like you are a little bit.
But the issue with that, unfortunately, I will say, Jarvi, the issue with that is there's nothing about that. We know nothing about the Star Wars movie at all. In terms of we know it's Taika Waititi, we don't know about where it is, when it is, who it is. So this is, I think, if things get less nebulous about the Star Wars universe, you can get an idea of okay, well, it's taking place here with this cast member or with this idea. You might get back on the Star Wars train versus Star Trek.
I did see something the other day that Ryan Reynolds might be potentially involved in it.
That's not going to happen. I can't see Ryan Reynolds
I
in Star Wars.
Star Wars,
I don't know. He said it'd be pretty hard to turn down.
The Hemsworth stuff, that was that was the last Star Trek news that we got, that they were supposed to bring Chris Hemsworth back, which is kind of a cool thing, but I don't think they need to. Chris Hemsworth is too big now. I feel like he would hijack the movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and that's the case. Though, it seems because I will say that the best thing that J.J. Abrams did, and a lot of people didn't like the Kelvin universe idea. I thought it was a very genius way that they rebooted the universe, and they kept the old verse, but also was able to bring a new verse the right way. I thought it was actually very cool and very good. But I don't want to go back to the well again. It seems like there shouldn't be another more time travel thing. You did it so well the first time. If you go back, you're just totally risking totally blowing it up, and making it worse at this point. There's no way to do it. So I hope that is not the case anymore. If it is, then that's going to make me less excited about it, to be honest with you.
William Harold, this is the perfect thing you just said. It kind of is like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we have a lot more solid plans about the Star Wars TV shows versus at this point. We know Obi-Wan's coming in May. We know what Ahsoka's coming up. It is weird. We don't know anything about the Star Wars movies. We have no solidified plans about when Star Wars is coming out. It's was it now 2023? Maybe 2024? I don't know. Either way, all we know is that Taika Waititi is the next one, we think. And that's even that's kind of we'll find out. Right. So until we get some more definitive news, it's hard to be excited about the Star Wars movies at this point.
I'll be honest, I thought the next Star Wars movie was the Patty Jenkins movie.
Yeah, that got pulled.
I'll be honest, the Taika Waititi one is kind of, I feel like I want to backtrack, but I won't.
It got pulled, so it's not going to happen anymore at this point. I don't think so.
Did it get actually pulled? Because I feel like there's been more news talking about it. It's weird. They said that they might shelve it, but Still okay.
It's being delayed inevitably.
Right. Got it.
So I have a feeling it's not going to happen. That's my guess at this point. I think you're going to get Taika Waititi first. Maybe Kevin Feige produced one. There is a rumor that they might do a Star Wars trilogy, and they're actually working on their trilogy now, which would take them beyond Rise of Skywalker. And
exactly, the continuation of...
Which could be very cool if they go the right way with it. I'm actually very interested about that because that's going to be a lot of lore building and things like that. And there's a lot of potential, especially if they don't tie it to the Skywalker saga.
But there was some rumors that this, again, might continue the Skywalker saga.
Well, I think it will in the sense of Rey will be in it probably or whatever. But I got to have the feeling like...
She's a Palpatine for...
She's Rey Skywalker.
I won't say fuck today because that's your word for today.
Fuck off. Anyway, all right. Well, I think that's the news for today. We'll talk more about Star Wars soon because we're definitely going to talk about Star Wars a lot as the weeks come, as we're getting closer and closer to both Bad Batch and Obi-Wan coming out. They're both coming out in the spring, from what I heard. Obviously we know what Obi-Wan in May. Bad Batch I heard was spring, so that actually made me come out sooner. So
did you see the poster for Obi-Wan?
I did.
And I will be on the ground at Celebration giving a live first person view of the reaction of the fandom. So maybe I'll do like a little video or something, ask a few people there what they thought, put it up on the channel.
Little PLD projects on location. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I'll definitely do that. Sweet.
Sounds
all right.
Awesome.
Well, let's break out of our news. We're now 30 minutes in, so let's get into our main topic of the day. The video game movies, favorite video game movies. Now, we kind of left this nebulous when we talked about it. Matty, you put forth this suggestion. We didn't really define it, whether it meant like a video game adaptions or video game centric. Jarvi wanted to do Jarvi turned into bitch. Jarvi just wanted to limit us as he always does. Just wanted to limit us down, just to hold the man down.
I feel like the list is going to be way too comfortable if you can pick from anything. I wanted to, kind of give us more focus.
Which I get what he wants to do. Unfortunately for me, is one thing about this is I'm not a very big video game movie guy, really honest. So I realized when I looked up, I was like doing some research for trying to see what I wanted to put on this list. I'm like, yep, haven't seen that. Yep, really haven't seen that. Yep, really haven't seen that. Yeah, I saw that once way back in like 2000 and haven't seen it since. So like it's hard for me to judge. So my list is probably a lot more generic and boring. I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping you guys will spice it up for me. So why don't we start with you guys? Matty, why don't you go with your first choice?
Okay, I'll go with my first choice. My first one is actually the first video game movie that... Actually, no, it's not.
The first one, you're going with number 3, or...
So I'm going with number 3. It was one of the first video game movies I ever saw, and it was actually Lara Croft Tomb Raider, the one with Angelina Jolie.
Nice, Angie.
Yes. And I have the utmost respect for Miss Alicia Vikander. But to me, I think that she has that Angelina Jolie has that more ladylike aspect that Lara brings when you play her in the video games. Like, she's brought up in a mansion, rich family, everything. Like, to me, just like Angelina Jolie personifies that a bit more, like the person of Lara Croft. Add to that, it was just like the action was sweet. Seeing Angelina, like the scene when they're in the mansion and the people break in before Lara goes off on the assignment, like that was one of like the first massive gunfight scenes that I saw as a kid, and I was just like, "Whoa, and it's like the first time you see a woman handling that kind of action sequence, and it's just like, cool, this is different. I'm into this." Like, strong power. And Tomb Raider 2 is one of the first video games I ever played, so
I would say that
special little place in my heart.
I get that. I was like just bringing up the difference between Tomb Raider, the Angelina Jolie version, and Alicia Vikander version. I kind of felt like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like Angelina Jolie's was a little more cartoonish, but like in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah.
Like Alicia Vikander, where they tried to take a little more seriously, but I think it suffered because it didn't seem like it knew exactly what it wanted to be, so it ended up feeling more generic.
No, but there's a difference between the two gaming franchises as well. Angelina Jolie's movies were based on the earlier Tomb Raider movies. Alicia Vikander's are with a new cast, with a new story. It was exactly like it is in the movie. It was very grounded. It was more serious. So the movie followed the newer version of the games.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. Unfortunately, it made me like the first one better, though. I gotta tell you, I prefer the more cartoonish version of at least. I never played the games as far. I mean, I think I played Tomb Raider like once or twice, like back in the day. I never played the newer version, to be honest with you. But I definitely prefer the more fun and like aspect of the adventure side of Angelina Jolie's version.
And you remember who else was in it? Not only John Voight,
Daniel Craig
playing Alex West.
Absolutely. That was actually funny enough you said that, because it actually was my number 3 as well.
Okay.
So I mean, we're on the same page as far as that goes. I did like this one quite a bit as far as fun goes. So Jarvi, it's up to you then. What's your number 3?
My actually Alicia Vikander's Tomb Raider was almost on my list. It's not. Okay. So I was going in the same direction, but I figured we're doing favorite ones, and this. So I'm just gonna prepare you guys. This is where I enjoyed putting out all of my guiltiest of movie pleasure movies on here. So my number 3 is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Oh my!
Jake Gyllenhaal, Gemma Arterton in one of the cheesiest adventure movies you've ever seen. It's Disney. It's Aladdin meets Pirates of the Caribbean. It's nowhere close as good as Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's still so freaking enjoyable because Jake Gyllenhaal has movie star charisma. He's jacked out of his mind. Gemma Arterton is fresh off of Quantum of Solace. She's like riding high on Hollywood.
Was she really?
Yep, that was after
Prince of Persia came before.
Nope, Prince of Persia came out in 2010. I remember that because it was in Australia by that time. I saw it in an Australian IMAX cinema. It was freaking awesome. And the visuals are truly, truly awesome. And this is a fun summer blockbuster movie. We're not talking top 3 video game movies. So very specifically, I put Prince of Persia on here. And I want more old-fashioned adventure movies like that. It's not a deep movie, but this will keep you entertained.
Kind of reminds me of like the old Sinbad movies in a way.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and the TV series as well. I remember the Sinbad TV series.
I have never seen Prince of Persia.
Imagine John. What was it, John Carter?
I'm sorry, that hit me the right way. I needed that. Thank you, Jarvi.
I don't like the only thing that would come out of this is you telling me to fuck off again. So don't watch it.
Imagine John Carter with half the budget, and you've got Prince of Persia.
Dude, John Carter was freaking awesome.
I did like John Carter. I love actually John. I think John Carter was very underrated.
It was very similar to me. John Carter and Prince of Persia, very similar movies. Love them both.
All right. Okay, then we're starting to talk my number 3. Matty, go for your number 2.
Okay, my number 2 is another one that is very near and dear to my heart because it's the first movie I ever took a girl on a date to.
Ooh. And you actually saw the movie?
We had to because her older brother was our chaperone.
Oh. Blocked.
Blocked.
Bro blocked.
Literally bro blocked. Literally by her brother. It's the original Pokemon movie.
Wow.
The original. I've never seen it.
The original Pokemon movie.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't even know there was a Pokemon movie back then.
Oh yeah, dude. Way back. This is like, it's cartoon. Like, it's not like Detective Pikachu, like live action. But it's like, spoiler alert, Ash dies in it near the end. He comes back, but like there was not a dry eye in that house. And I'd already seen it. So I knew this. So my plan was to take this girl. She gets sad at that scene.
Yeah.
I put the arm over. I did that. Oh, dude, I had it all planned out. And then her brother was there. And I was just like, God damn it. But me and her are still friends to this day. And like, we were young kids back then. So like, again, sentimental pick. Like, and it's just a damn good movie.
I hope what actually happened is the brother teared up and you were consoling him. So you kind of
I was like, I got you, bro. I get it. I get it. No, she actually didn't care about the movie. She didn't give a shit about it.
Shocker.
Yeah, I'm really shocked. I'll tell you that much.
Detective Pikachu actually was when I looked up some of the video game movies lists. it was very high up on a lot of the best video game movies lists.
I considered it in my top list. Yep. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. I thought Ryan Reynolds was fun.
Really good.
It was a lot of fun. But instead, I went with my number 2. I went with a movie which I had no faith in when I was going to see it. I went because of my son, but I was pleasantly surprised, and that's Sonic.
Yes.
Wow. I actually highly enjoyed Sonic. I think Jim Carrey's return to form.
Dude,
like it was Jim Carrey's
Robotnik
first time since like the 90s where he was actually being crazy old Jim Carrey again, and it just worked on almost every level for him. He was fun, it was entertaining, it was energetic, it was a decent enough story. The effects were fine and fun. Like I went in like wanting to hate the movie, and like at the end of the movie I was kind of like, this was pretty sweet. I'm actually looking forward to the sequel. My son said the same thing. He liked it too. We walked into the home. We decided to watch it again later on. It didn't lose any of its luster. It was fun. It's a great fun adaptation. It's not going to change the world, but it's exactly what it needed to be.
It's discount Henry Cavill.
I discount Henry Cavill. That's true. That is discount Henry Cavill in there as well. Also known from Westworld, of course. Westworld with Ed Harris. But what do you guys think about it? What do you guys? Do you guys have any?
With Ed Harris.
I enjoyed it. Especially, I didn't think Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik would. I mean, I knew it would be funny because it's Jim Carrey, but I was just like, wait, you got Jim Carrey, like Dr. Robotnik's supposed to be like this super fat, like
bald,
kind of, like,
long mustache,
genius, but still kind of bumbling.
Right. And
I was just like, how is Jim Carrey gonna, especially like where he was as a person at the time? I was a bit like, because he was talking about like he hated going back and watching The Mask. And he hated watching Ace Ventura. I was like, how is he gonna like go back to that? But he killed it, and he was amazing.
Absolutely.
Jarvi hit the nail on the head.
I think not only that, but not only just the money. I think Jarvi. I think Jim Carrey's gotten to the point where there seems to be a point where you have a guy who becomes famous for doing something, a shtick. He kind of tries to get out of that shtick. He tries doing other stuff, and it gets to the point where he gets old enough where he's kind of like, fuck it. You know what? I know what people want to see. I'm tired of doing I'm trying to like be something different. I'm gonna celebrate what I'm known for and goes back to the shtick enough where it's like everybody's like, oh, it's all new again and all fun again. Great. So I think that's I don't know. I'm happy to see it. I'm glad to see him come back for the sequel as well. I think it's going to be again. It seems like it's going to be another fun type of movie for me.
The sequel looks great. The end credit scene teased. What was the character's name? The
Knuckles.
Knuckles. And Knuckles was, and there was another one as well.
Knuckles,
Tails?
No, it's Tails. You're talking about Tails.
Tails, that's right. Because I actually played one of the first Sonic games on a old Sega video console.
Sega, yep.
Yeah, I played that back in the day. So all of those, ring collecting sounds, whatever it is, that just gave me the chills.
Real quick, ASG. I don't know. Actually, I never saw Max Payne. Never did.
Dude. Okay.
No,
so I've seen Max Payne. I love the Max Payne video games. I want to shout out a friend of mine, Max Payne Griffin, UFC fighter. He actually uses that as his nickname, Max Payne. It's not great.
No, Mark Wahlberg just is wrong.
No, if they'd have put it, and I hate to put him in everything that we put him in, but if that had been Jerry B, different story. Mark Wahlberg, too pretty, too cocky, too obnoxious, like just didn't fit the role. But if you'd have put our guy Jerry B in there, different story.
I'll put Jerry B in anything is definitely a thumbs up for me. You know that. Real quick, Party. Can't wait for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Party, I was just talking about you earlier with our news bit. Comment in the chat. Are you excited about John Cena doing the Looney Tunes thing with his Wile E. Coyote?
Yeah.
And let me know what you feel.
Pardis, we need to hear from you. Like John Cena in Wile E. Coyote versus Acme.
Are you excited about that? Let's see what that comes on. And while we're waiting, we'll jump into Jarvi. What was your number 2?
So you're gonna hate this even more than my third one.
Oh no! Don't you dare do it.
Yeah, it's Need for Speed.
I fucking knew it.
It's Need for Speed.
Knew it.
This I truly can't explain why I enjoy this movie so much.
Oh God!
But it's really enjoyable. It's got great music. It glorifies the cars. It's got Michael Keaton in it, who does just a weird bonkers role. He's kind of like the podcaster of the of the underground racing world. It's so weird, but he's still freaking good because it's Michael Keaton. And Aaron Paul plays the lead. Dominic Cooper plays a great shit weasel / villain. You got Kit Cuddy. He's the funniest dude in this. I love him. And I don't know how to pronounce your name. You probably might know. Imogen Poots? Imogen Poots? Imogen? Yeah. Their chemistry together, not good.
Not good.
Still, nope. But it's you're pretty much decent enough summer movie. It feels like discount Fast and the Furious 5.
No. It doesn't feel like it is discount Fast and Furious.
Gotta be honest, I have not seen this.
But it's got great cinematography. It's got great music. The effects are great.
What?
It's really it is very well shot.
It does have a great cast. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, Aaron Paul, Dominic Cooper. You also got Rami Malek in there, I guess. Dakota Johnson's in
right.
this.
Yeah, Rami Malek has a really weird role in this. Very small role.
Rami Malek was also in a movie with Denzel Washington and the shittest actor on the planet, but he still has an Oscar, Jared Leto. Like, that movie should have been good. It wasn't.
It was not.
And Need for Speed was supposed to be good, and guess what? It wasn't either. But it's still freaking enjoyable.
Is this another movie where like you've put it on your list, but Paul doesn't need to see it?
No, definitely not.
This is going to earn.
No, actually, I think Paul would like this one more because of Michael Keaton.
That's true.
I think because of him, he might actually enjoy this.
I actually do have a soft spot for Aaron Paul as well.
Yep.
So it might do well for me because I like Breaking Bad, and he's also I'm one of the few that loved Westworld season 3, and I thought he was great in that as well. I might I'll give that a shot at some point. But
the only person that the person whose opinion we need on it the most, and I don't know if he's in the chat or if he's watching, but John Lestrina. We need John Lestrina to do a watch along of Need for Speed. Tell us what he thinks.
Maybe we can retroactively put it in the Fast and Furious franchise somehow. Maybe that'll work. Let's make it work. But real quick, Party. So far, I'm intrigued by the last role Cena has done. Has really proven himself. So I think I would say yes. I'm excited. I think I would. So yes, I knew he would be excited. Sorry, Party. I'm not excited about this. I don't think that it's going to be great.
None of us really are.
I would have seen it would do something different.
I don't know if I'm excited, but
I'm happy for you, Party. Though I'm happy that you're excited.
It's kind of like a car crash. Like I'm gonna go past it. I know I shouldn't watch it. I know I shouldn't look, but I'm going to.
I hope Party enjoys the hell out of it, and I hope, Matty, you get a lot out of it, and I will sit in the sidelines and see what people say and probably never watch it.
Did you say car crash, Matty? I'm gonna write in the private chat what I thought you said. We will never talk about this again.
Wow,
no,
fair enough.
That is also a pain to do.
Accurate. That's also accurate. Okay, first one. All right, fine. Okay, so we're gonna be on number 1. Matty, it's up to your number 1, and I'm actually kind of scared to give it to you because I think you probably might take mine as well potentially. So,
okay. You guys knew it was coming. I don't know if my camera's gonna reach enough, but all
right,
you guys knew
let's
it was
do it.
coming.
Are we ready to yell?
Are all three of us? Are all three of us going to do it?
Dude, I don't think it's going to appear. Hang on. I think it's too dark.
I can't see it.
Mortal
Kombat!
Yep.
1990, the original Mortal Kombat.
Nah, the 2021 with my guy Louis Tan.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna pick that one.
Seriously, 1985. I don't want Mike Deacon coming for my head.
Where is
19? Is it 1985?
No, 95.
95. Okay. Sorry, 95, not 85.
95, totally different. Yeah, that'd be Mario. That'd be Mario fighting at that point. No, Mortal Kombat is the best one. Let's be honest. It's a horrible movie, but it's an awesome movie at the same time. Christopher Lambert as Raiden is iconic in all the worst and best ways possible. That actually is the best way to describe this movie. It's like both at once the worst and best film in the history of.
It's the best in all the wrong reasons.
Exactly. It's so entertaining. It's so energetic. It's so exciting. It's so fucking ridiculously stupid, and you can't. I dare you to try to watch this movie without having a big old shit-eating grin on your face, because it's just that fun.
And it's really weird that Mortal Kombat Annihilation wasn't as big of a hit because it uses everything almost that the first one did. It is exactly the same tonally. It's trying to be exactly. He wasn't in there, but it's also really ridiculous. It's really outlandish. It's crazy. It's got the same kind of visuals, but it just didn't hit.
Lightning can't strike twice. I think that's part of the problem. Honestly, it's like you're trying to do the same thing again, and it's like,
was that a pun?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Are you saying that James Remar was no good
comparatively?
Yeah,
I love James Remar. But fuck off.
Okay, so one thing I love the most about Mortal Kombat, the original, is the visual effects and the animation of, like, let's say, Reptile. Oh. It's so bad, so terrible. But at the time, I remember being a little kid watching that and being scared out of my fucking mind. Because he was just like crawling through the walls, crawling through the floor. And I was like, what the fuck is that thing? And then you have like Scorpion takes fucking Johnny Cage down to hell. I was like,
so realistic. How are they doing this?
I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, he had the Scorpion come out of his hand, as opposed to like what he does, what Hiroyuki Sanada does now when he has the chain come out. I was just like, bro, this is cool as shit, but it's terrifying at the same time. Now I watch it and I'm like, I was scared of this. What the fuck? But it's still cool. And there is a video out there somewhere of me trying to do the Liu Kang bicycle kick and falling flat on my ass. I need to find it and post it.
I do want to see that. I do. That's going to go on. It's going to be our video that we're going to put it right in StreamYard and just put it in every once in a while.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I think I made it like 3 times and then I fell back and like smacked my head on the ground. It was hilariously bad.
Nice, hilariously bad. I will say real quick, missed most of the discussion, Philippe, that Wreck-It Ralph got mentioned, because Wreck-It Ralph should have been mentioned. Wreck-It Ralph wasn't based on the video game, as far as I know. I don't think Felix was an actual game, so it kind of was. Bitch Jarvi wouldn't let us. Bitch Jarvi wouldn't let us talk about it because we.
I'm not Bitch Jarvi today.
I'm sorry, you're right. Dick wouldn't let us talk about it. He wouldn't. he was just holding us back. He's limiting us as he does sometimes. Jarvi, I do love you. You know that, right?
I know you do.
All right, fair enough.
I can take the pain.
Fair enough.
Take the pain.
And Christo and Addison, good to see you. I couldn't get enough of Street Fighter as a kid.
That was my honorable mention.
Christo.
I have a soft spot. I have a soft spot for Street Fighter. I'm not gonna lie. Raul Julia was great in it. I mean, well,
Ming Na Wen.
Yes,
I haven't seen Street Fighter.
It's a fun movie. It's stupid. It's in the same realm of Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter.
I think Mortal Kombat's better. It's more exciting, but like Street Fighter is not. Street Fighter is much better than Annihilation.
Let me just mention to you one name, and you will get how cheesy it is. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, he's in. Oh, I might have seen some of it.
I saw it in theaters.
Because actually, I watched Mortal Kombat with Christo Addison, who's in the chat. So I watched it with him.
There he is.
There he is. I knew if we mentioned it, he'd come running eventually. We did vote, Mike. We actually, all 3 of us voted Mortal Kombat 1995 as the best one of all time, and that's it is.
Mike, if you didn't see it, I almost said 2021, but I value our friendship immensely, and I didn't want you to hate me for saying 2021, so I went with 1995.
He couldn't say it with a straight face. He tried to, but didn't quite.
I did try.
Did you say Mortal Kombat was your favorite movie of 2021?
It was one of them.
Okay. Because
Really?
remember when it came out, you were like raving about it.
Yeah. And that's the thing with movies like that. I watch them differently to a lot of people. A lot of people looking for structure, character development. I'm looking for like the action sequences, the martial arts sequences, how well they're executed, and like what moves are put together and how they all flow together. Like that's it, to me, the equal amount of storytelling comes from that. But I am a martial artist, so like I'm looking at those things to tell a story for me. And I appreciate that there's not a lot of people out there that enjoy movies that are necessarily looking for those things. They're looking like, oh yeah, the editing in this sequence was cool. I'm like, no, the way they do this move into this move into this move is cool.
Tim Frank on the chat. Let's see. Tim, always good to see you. But we can go home speech is so damn great. Yeah, that's not that bad. That's actually a pretty good thing. But it does say, wait till you guys talk about the actual best video game movie. It came out in 2021. I'm curious what you think. I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know it's a movie that I haven't seen, which is why I didn't get a chance to talk about it. I do want to see it soon, and this could jump to the top of my list. I'm going to guess that Tim Franco is talking about Werewolves Within.
It was actually on top of a lot of lists.
It was on top of a lot.
I have yet to see it. It is on my list to see. And unfortunately, I wanted to try to watch it this week before we got into this episode. I really did. Unfortunately, at work, I worked like 80 hours of overtime this week. It was ridiculous, so I didn't get a chance to. I'm hoping that's the case because I've heard good things about that from everybody who I've talked to. So
yeah, there we go.
That's it. That is right. There you go. So that's my.
It actually is that a corgi? That's a corgi.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's what I'm going to do. I go watch that. So, okay, we'll put our list. Mortal Kombat 1995 is our favorite with an asterisk, at least until I see Werewolves Within, because I do want to watch.
It's not my number one, though.
What?
That's not your number one.
It's not my number one.
Oh, shit. I am jumping ahead there.
Mortal Kombat is my honorable mention.
Wow. Jarvi, what the hell is your number one then? Oh, my God. I'm almost scared to ask.
Watch, it's going to be Super Mario Brothers. I fucking bet.
No, it's a movie that's a little newer. It's based on the greatest video game of all time.
Duke Nukem?
It's Warcraft.
I haven't seen it.
It's 2016's Warcraft, directed by Duncan Jones, starring Travis Fimmel. The movie was
Ragnar
above. Sorry,
Ragnar Lothbrok's in it.
Yep, he's the lead. He's the lead. I'm pretty.
I'm watching this.
Surprised that you haven't seen it.
I've watched it for a while, and Jarvi, you actually have pushed that up to me. If you haven't pushed that for me for a long time, so I'm just to hear you talk about it some more. So go ahead.
This movie, first of all, Ramin can't pronounce his name. Who does Game of Thrones soundtrack? Ramin Djawin.
Ramin Djawadi. I know he's
I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name. He does in a freaking amazing score. It's got one of the best CGI and motion capture I've ever seen. Really? The orcs, the lead orc, Duratan, is played by Toby Kebbell. The micro expressions, the voice, everything. It's by far the best motion capture I've ever seen. And I've seen Avatar, and I love Avatar. I feel like the orcs in this are even better.
Wow, Daniel Wu's in it?
Who?
Daniel Wu?
I think he might be playing a CGI character as well. I can't remember him in the movie at this point. Cool.
I love Into the Badlands and obviously Police Story.
But what this movie excels at, for me, is world building. Because Warcraft has such a rich lore. But they picked one of the first storylines, and what they did like really freaking well was you got the orcs who are pretty much like you'd consider them as the bad guys. You got the humans who are like the good side, light side. This movie does a pretty much complete 180, or it doesn't take sides at all. The orcs are way more cooler than the humans are, and they're both the good guys. They get thrown together by a corrupt magic called the Fel that just corrupts some of the orcs. They attack the humans. They come from a different universe pretty much through a gateway, and they're just thrown together, and they pretty much have to battle it out because they're on the humans' territories. It's got high level action. It's got freaking awesome magic, great voiceovers, and it kills characters on both sides. You're not going to believe how many deaths are in this movie. I'm not going to say who die, but everyone's in danger in this one.
I can't watch I can't watch like Ragnar Lothbrok as an orc. Please tell me he's a human.
He's a human, but okay. I feel like he would have been greater as an orc because you're used to seeing him as, you know, this gritty Viking sort of down to earth gritty dude. He's playing a knight here, so he's more cleaned up. He's sort of well behaved, stuff like that. It's kind of a weird change if you're used to
he's my number one fan cast to be the new Wolverine.
Oh,
because he's pretty short.
That's fair.
I love you. I hope you have more reasons than he's pretty short.
He's pretty short. He's really angry. He's a good actor.
I actually really like that.
And
he's got that frailty to them. He's got this frailty to him as well, which Wolverine needs.
Who wants to be king?
A subject we do later. We'll do recasting instead of doing like top 3 something. When we do the recasting here and there or something, top 3 recasting potentially. I like that idea. I do like Warcraft. I like the way it looks. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to watch it. I like Duncan Jones as a director.
Exactly. I wanted to mention Duncan Jones. That's the best part about this movie. Duncan Jones is a huge Warcraft fan, so you got all sorts of Easter eggs, stuff like that in there. And this movie doesn't over-explain anything. It just gives you the scenery, gives you the plot. Nothing gets over-explained, which I love. Which might challenge you a little bit because you know nothing about the Warcraft world, but I think it treats the viewer as intelligent, which I appreciate. So
fair enough.
Cool. It's really got amazing action. Like when the orcs start punching through the humans because they're way bigger, you feel it. Like they get thrown, squashed, hammered down. It's pretty brutal.
Sweet. Well, that'll wrap up then our video game movies. That's our list there. Let's get into we're a little bit over time, but I'm gonna do it. We're gonna plow ahead and do. We didn't have Boba Fett to talk about this week, or we didn't have anything else, any Marvel movies or any Star Wars TV shows like we tend to cover. So we'll go into our reviews of the week. Each of us will throw in something that we watched this week that we either want to destroy or perhaps recommend. Matty, let's start with you.
So something I watched, something that I've actually been quite excited to watch. I got like a little advanced little screening of this, if you will. It's the new documentary Genius on Kanye West and his rise to fame.
I heard so much about it.
It's coming out in like 3 parts each week. Part 1 has dropped, and it's really cool. I'm always interested to see people who are masters of their craft and how they got to where they are. This is filmed by a friend of his from when he was a lot younger, from Chicago. He was a stand-up comedian, and then he just started filming Kanye, like in his studio sessions. Kanye, like he's a weirdo, obviously. Like we know he's gone a bit.
Oh yeah.
But he's somewhat of a mad genius. He was one of the first people to start recording songs in his bedroom. Now you can buy a MacBook Pro Tools, and then anyone can create a band or a beat in their bedroom now. But he was one of the first people to do it. But in this, you get to see like his relationship with his mother before she passed. You get to see how everyone from Rockefeller Records, Ruckus Records, everyone was turning him down. No one was giving him the time of day. And you look at him now, and he's like, he's definitely one of the top 3 influential artists of our time, my time, definitely. And he's a master of whatever he does, be it music or fashion. And to see how he's gone from pretty much everyone telling him you suck, like we don't want you, to everyone buying beats from him, wanting them to give him beats for free, people like Jay-Z, to like where he is now. It's really inspiring, and like it humanizes him a lot. And I really enjoyed the first part. It's
just so the first part's like the first episode, or 3 episodes?
They're all an hour and a half long.
Oh wow!
It's split into 3. There's going to be a part each week. So part 2 comes out Wednesday, and then part 3 comes out next week. But they're all like an hour and a half long.
Got it. I heard Covino and Rich talk about it on their podcast, and they're talking about it like they're talking about Kanye a lot, because he's going pretty much crazy with the whole Pete Davidson thing.
And he had involvement in this, like he had final say of what gets shown, and to see some of this stuff with him and his mother, I was like, whoa, okay, like it's deep. It gets real deep, and like you see beyond the superstar that is Kanye.
All right. Well, it's an interesting take. I might want to. I have a hard time watching documentaries. I got to be honest with you. Sometimes I have to make it in the right mood, so it's hard for me to know when I'll be ready to do it. But it is one that I would be interested in seeing, because he is such a polarizing person and does have a very interesting past. So I would like to maybe check it out at some point.
Where is it on?
Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix. Holy shit! Okay, wow.
All right, Mr. Jarvi, what about you? What is your
Mr. Jarvi? Wow, what did you do to Paul?
Trying to make up for it, I guess. All right, Dick, what's your view of the week?
There we go. All right, my watch of the week, and I've been watching this for I think 2 weeks now, and I can't get enough of it. It's the new Amazon show Reacher.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not gonna start bad mouthing Tom Cruise because we love Tom Cruise, but his Jack Reacher was something. It was okay. Alan Ritchson as Jack Reacher is exactly what you want from that character. It's exactly what the character is like in the books. He's huge, he's tall, he's a mountain, but he's like a mysterious drifter who wanders around the US, gets himself in these situations where his military experience and investigative skills come into play, and he just starts to unravel a crime mystery. It's a very contained story, which I love about this one. It takes place in a small town called Margrave. The stakes are high enough, but there's like high enough for this small town, but they're not like worldwide, world's about to end, which I appreciate. This is what all the shows and the movies are doing. Pretty much you get to like the end of the world if you don't save it. This is just a small, corrupt, small town, and he gets thrown into this situation. Now, Alan Ritchson, he previously probably known for Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State. I don't know if you've seen that show.
I've heard of it and seen of it.
He plays this ridiculous character, football player. He's pretty much done these weird comedies, and it's kind of hard to take him seriously in Reacher at first. But when you really get into when you give this like a few episodes, if you haven't been tainted by his previous roles, you're gonna be on board with him. And the supporting cast is also great. They're kind of unknowns: Willa Fitzgerald and Malcolm Goodwin. Those three together, very different characters, great chemistry. And the showrunner is actually Nick Santorum, who's worked on shows like Prison Break, Law and Order, and Sopranos. You probably heard about him. So yeah, this has great sense of humor and very brutal action. I talked about Warcraft as well a little bit. When Jack Reacher starts to beat up guys, you friggin' feel it because he's huge. There's no match for him. He just destroys people. It's this kind of satiates this small kid that just wants to see things get wrecked.
Very cool. Very cool. There's something I did want to. I know our friend Ryan Nielsen actually worked on Jack Reacher.
Really?
He was working behind the scenes on Jack Reacher, so
cool.
That's something to crow about. I would like to see it at some point again, and it's tougher for me to watch series actually sometimes. I did finally binge Peacemaker, like I said. So, but this is definitely my cue of something I definitely would like to watch. I did like the Tom Cruise movies. So I'll have to see where this goes. I've heard a lot of good things about this as well.
It's better than the Tom Cruise movies.
Okay,
I'll say that. And I'm not even comparing that on a TV level. No, right. It's better than the Tom Cruise movies.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, I'll wrap it up with my view of the week. I had a hard time picking at this point because I did binge Peacemaker, but I feel like everyone's talked out to death, so I don't need to say much about that. I mean, I did myself with PJ. So I'm going to talk about a lesser known horror film by two directors who are definitely up and coming. Director Justin Benson and Aaron Scott Moorhead are partners. I guess they're probably most well known for the movie Synchronic that came out in 2017.
Yeah,
which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard amazing things about.
It's pretty cool. It's a weird, cool movie.
I know that they actually have been tapped to be doing the majority of the Loki season 2. I guess so. That's it
fits them
in the realm. So I decided after talking to PJ as well, I'm going back. I'm going to watch all their films because there's only a few. They only have a few films in their filmography. So I figured I'd go through and see how they develop. And I watched Resolution just the other day, yesterday I think it was actually, and it was their first film from 2012. It doesn't star anybody. It was made on a budget of $20,000. There's nobody in the cast that you know.
Yep.
Maybe Bill Oberst Jr. He's been in a few things here and there, but not a whole lot known about it. He is that actually. I would say that absolutely does not surprise me at all. It was a very Tim Franco set of directors at films, and PJ as well. These guys are wonderful filmmakers. For a debut made on a micro budget, you really can't tell it was made on a micro budget.
What's the story?
It's a story about it. And I will tell you the story in a second. what I love about him, and I also started watching Spring, which is their next film. I had to pause it to come here. I'm almost done with that. What they do best is they write horror films. They don't seem like horror films at first.
No.
Like the film starts off as a slow burn, and then the kind of like the horror aspects are kind of thrown in, and by the end you realize I just watched a horror movie. It's not like jump scares; it's all like slow burn, kind of creepy psychological thing. This story is about a young man, or a man is about to get married. He's got his wife who is pregnant, but he decides to go off to try to save his best friend. His best friend had become a junkie. I was living in this like cabin up in the woods. Because he got this video sent to him. An email video of him, like he was like shooting at birds, and he was acting all wonky, all crazy. He's like strung out, probably has some mental health issues, and you don't know much about it. But he goes to the cabin to try to give this guy one last chance, trying to wants to bring him to rehab, even though he doesn't want to go to rehab. He mentioned he stuns him with a taser and like handcuffs him to the house, like a pipe in the house. The idea that we're gonna get you clean in a week, and if at a week after you don't want to go to rehab, this is my last ditch effort to try to save you. I can't do anymore. This is my last ditch effort, ever. And that's like how the thing begins. And it's this great drama between these two guys. And it's a very much a bromance to a degree. They talk about older times. They talk about newer times. But then these like creepy things start happening, and you find out more about the land they're on, and these videos start getting sent to the guy, and they're like videos from like the same area, and it's hard to actually describe the story itself because it's a slow burn into like a psychosis in a way.
Sounds real creepy.
It is very creepy. There's the land has some definitely very creepy moments in it. They deal with some drug dealers that are in the neighborhood. They end up finding out on a reservation, so they have to deal with these Native Americans who come in, and they have to talk to them about like staying on the land. It's really whacked out. It's a hard time describing the film, but by the end, you're sufficiently creeped out. You really care for these characters, and these are not like actors that you know. So they give decent enough performances.
There's no stars here. Yeah,
no stars at all, none at all. At the end of the film, I was like, "What did I just watch? Why are these two masters of what they're doing?" And like their first film. And I kind of feel like Spring so far, and I'll throw this in there as like a secondary thing, only because I'm still watching it. It's similar in that way. It starts off at a different, it doesn't seem like a horror movie at all, and then all of a sudden, like it switches and like, holy shit, what is this thing? And I love it. It's a very slow burn, not popcorn film, but it's horror I don't get to see very often. I'm very excited to turn people on to it. I'm definitely excited about Loki now, and I can't wait to get to Synchronic because I had heard already great things about it then, and now knowing this, I'm really on board to getting onto them.
It sounds very much like Synchronic. This creepy, weird story. The thing about Synchronic and why people know about those two now is because Anthony Mackie and Jamie Dornan.
Right.
And it's weird. It's even for them, it's a very small budget movie, but I'm so glad they made it. I got a question. Why did you watch that movie? Because it's such an obscure movie. What brought you to that movie?
Well, that's exactly what I said, because I heard about them through Loki. That they're doing Loki. I had heard about Synchronic. And because I talked to PJ Campbell about it a little bit, I kind of went, you know what? Since they only have, let's see, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, so you're going through their filmography.
I was going to say, is this something that you two could be covering on Two Mediocre White Dudes?
It won't be now because we have too many things in the tank already. But I could see us going back, and after like Loki comes out, and after they're working on a film called Something in the Dirt now. So maybe when that comes out, that might be something we do. They have a segment on a VHS Viral, which is this anthology film. But they have Resolution, they have Spring, The Endless, which Tim is saying you have to watch Resolution before The Endless, though, because I did hear that there's like a Benson and Moorhead universe potentially, like they're kind of like in the same universe, I guess, maybe, which is interesting. I love when filmmakers do that, and they kind of like the View Askew universe from Kevin Smith, completely different, I know, but I love when films can do that with themselves. I've heard that another one might be as well. I don't know if Spring was.
They're doing Moon Knight as well.
Are they doing that? That's true. They're doing Moon Knight as well potentially.
Okay.
So they have a lot going up with them at this point. I am more interested in Loki than I am about Moon Knight ever, but at the end of the day, I want to see. I'm watching Resolution, watch Spring, then watch Endless, then go to Synchronic, and I'll be ready to go. But I'm loving it so far. I hope you guys get into that as well.
Are they writing Moon Knight?
They're directing.
Directing 2 episodes. They're directing 2 episodes.
It says 6 episodes on IMDb.
And on Wiki it says they're directing 2 episodes of.
Okay, maybe IMDb when the thing isn't out yet can be kind of.
Says Mohammed Diab is directing 4 of the episodes, and Benson and Moorhead are directing the other 2.
Okay.
So, Real quick. Hi there, Bidoor. You missed us talking about you earlier a little bit.
Bidoor, what's up?
Hope you'll be able to join us someday again. But so yeah, I'm very interested to see what you guys think about it. If you do get a chance to watch it, I'm interested to see what you think about it. It's very, it's definitely a slow burn. Don't expect anything like, it's not popcorn action kind of horror. It's not cheap horror like jump scares and stuff. It's very slow burn energy. But I really enjoyed it overall. So there we go, gentlemen. That's what's going to do. That's going to do it for our episode today. I appreciate you guys hopping on. I appreciate you dealing with my bitch attitude today because I've been, like I said, a little bit of a bitch. I know.
You kind of warmed in the end. You kind of came around.
I did.
I feel like we took enough of your flack that you kind of,
I lashed out. Now I'm like
Exactly.
back to normal at this point. That makes sense. Matty, where can the folks find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner, and you can also go, like I had with my name earlier, buy my music, Shadow of Azrael, my band, our new song Brothers Keeper. If you go on any of my socials, the pre-save link is there. That drops February 28th, and yeah, and you can find me here every Monday.
And Mr. Jarvi.
Before I say where people can find me, whose turn is it to pick next week? Topic.
It's yours.
Can I already say it here? What I want to
go ahead. Make your announcement.
Are all three of us going to be there?
I believe so.
I'll be.
Because I want to do this with all three of you. Okay, so I've been wanting to do this for a while. For next week, we'll be doing the greatest top 3 movie soundtracks, the songs that were created for the movie to appear at the end of the movie. Like Titanic. But it can be in the movie as well. So like Armageddon, Don't Miss a Thing, stuff like that.
So like Hero. It had to be created specifically for
that movie. Exactly.
So like Chad Kroeger's Hero for Spider-Man.
Exactly. Perfect example.
Okay. All right. Ooh. God, that's tough. That's tough to just kind of. I love the idea. I just can't like trying to figure out which is.
Well, I've given you a week to prepare, so you'll do fine.
Not
enough. Anyway, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Richard-Erik with a K Jarvi, and here weekly on Mondays with these two fine gentlemen.
All right, now let me plug all my stuff. I have way too much to
Deep breath, inhale, and
you can find me at Recon Scoundrels. You can also find me on the Action Industries YouTube channel with Ben Bateman and Andrew Guy. I do a lot of I produce for them, and I'm usually on Action Guys every week. You can find me. The movie Trivia Schmodown is coming back soon. The big pay-per-view starts next Saturday, and then after that, the show will come back full force. And I got to tell you, I wish I could drop news about that, but I do think that this is going to be one of the greatest Schmodown seasons that we've had in a while. It feels like with the announcement they're going to make and what they're talking about doing, I feel like it's going to go back to the golden era of like season 5, season 6, that kind of time.
Nice.
I'm excited about it. That's coming soon. I'm definitely involved with that. You can also find me on PLD Projects on both Spotify, where you can find local podcasts. I do 2 shows that are audio-only podcasts. They do end up on YouTube 2 weeks later. First, I do 2 mediocre white dudes on film. Yes, Brendan, you are late. Sorry, Brendan. Mystical Mar, the FCL Star Wars champion. Interesting. Batman 89. That's nice. But I do 2 mediocre white dudes on film. PJ Campbell and I go through different franchises, usually horror, but we might not always do horror. We have some ideas to go beyond that as well. Right now, we're working through the Conjuring franchise. On Wednesday, we'll drop Conjuring Part 2. Conjuring 2 is when we're talking about recording that later on tonight. It'll be up on Wednesday. And I'm also talking about, I also do my show called Crown Jewels. I'm working my way through the Queen catalog. The episode the episode about the track Liar goes up tomorrow as well. And I love Liar.
Love Liar.
A lot of alternative versions to go on in that. There's a lot of different versions to talk about.
Great song.
So it's actually probably one of my longest episodes, because that's a show that can go from 5 minutes if there's only 1 or 2 versions to talk about. This one goes about a half an hour because there's at least 10 different versions to talk about. And so I hope you enjoyed that as well. And they'll come up like I said, 2 weeks later. They'll show up on the YouTube channel as well. Also, I mentioned earlier, patreon.com/PLD Projects. We are having a nice group of people getting involved there. I will say that one of the things we were talking about with that involves 2 mediocre white dudes in a box. 2 mediocre white idiots in a box. PJ Campbell and I, as a Patreon-only show, will deal with Doctor Who. And that should be a lot of fun for us. We're going to go through, not chronologically, because you know what we decided? Why would Doctor Who? Why would you go chronologically with Doctor Who? You're a time traveler that shows up anytime you want to go. Anytime you're going to go, so we're just going to go timey-wimey. We're just going to break through whenever we can, and we're going to talk about it. It should be a lot of fun. Another thing I've talked about Patreon as far as possible benefits and everything else, a Patreon show, maybe doing a crown jewel show where I get to sit on a Zoom with you guys and get to listen to some music together, because that'd be a lot of fun anyway. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be fun. Either way, do have a lot of great people I can shout out. I got to get this list up. Anything else we have to talk about before we do that? While I try to find this list.
Well, I just have one with the Doctor Who podcast. Are you also going to be? Because I've never been a massive Doctor Who fan, but the one show that universe that I did watch was Torchwood.
Oh, Torchwood! You did watch Torchwood. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I like Torchwood. It's pretty good.
I enjoyed Torchwood, and actually, PJ and I were just talking about Torchwood. He just did a recent rewatch of some of Torchwood. I definitely think Torchwood could definitely come up at some point, because we are big fans of Torchwood as well. So I'm excited about that as well. So good call on that. I do have a small list of names that are at a level that I have to shout out. I want to shout them out here. We got John Lestrina as a producer. I have Kelly W. as a producer. I have Jeff Alterman as a producer. And I have an executive producer, Brandon Buckingham. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you for supporting the projects, as it were. All the Patreon money I get, I'm actually funneling back into recording stuff, so it's all going back into. I'm not getting rich off of this. I'm just putting money back into the PLD project. So I really appreciate that, though. It means a lot to me. You guys are supporting me in that way, and that's gonna do it, I guess, folks. See you next week. We're going to be, I guess Jarvi has called it. We're talking about the greatest songs created for movies on soundtracks. That should be a big, heated discussion, knowing Jarvi.
I already got my
some Michael Bay in there.
Definitely be some Michael Bitch Bay in there. And the Bitch Bay.
Did you hear that Jake Gyllenhaal shot some of the scenes for Ambulance? Did you read the news?
Yeah, he took the camera from Michael Bay.
He took the camera away from Michael Bay and shot some of the scenes. That's like the bitchiest move you could ever do to Michael Bay.
I am all for that, because I bet Jake sounded better. That's what I'm going to guess. That's my guess at that point. But all right, guys. Thanks again so much. We will see you next time. And the force be with you, because I'll still say that either way. Force be with you. Unless you got something else to say, Matty. You got your hand up?
No, I'm good. You're
good. All right, good. Fine. Fuck it. Then we'll leave that up. And here we go. Bye, everybody.